Hello, and welcome to another episode of It Sure Is a Podcast. Today, we need to clear the air. We need to make some things known moving forward. And this was only kind of spurred in my mind because I had a discussion with a friend the other day. Well, it would technically be yesterday, but whatever. When you listen to a podcast, there's no concept of time. That they almost went and did the silly thing of purchasing Harvest Moon One World. And they were not as big game-brained as myself. Didn't realize what was going on because she talked about Story Seasons 2. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. So, Harvest Moon is a game that I have some of the most fondest and most cherished childhood memories with. It is a game that I play. I would even call my best friend, and we would play Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. Before the Discord was a thing, before high-speed internet was a thing, him and I would take up landlines, and we would just talk about what we were doing in Harvest Moon while we played. And it was something magical. But so how do I start this? How do I put this? Okay. So Harvest Moon is not what it used to be. Story of Seasons is the new Harvest Moon. And I was explaining this to my friend, and I didn't have the right terminology or anything. So I wanted to be sure that I got it right this time. So, okay. So Harvest Moon, the studio that makes it and the studio that localizes it, split because of a combination of contracts and creative differences. So Harvest Moon is... Oh, man, this goes so deep. This goes so deep, and I'm trying to set it up for context. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I have an article here. I'm just going to read it straight out so you can see what I am going off of here. All right. The last Harvest Moon game to be called Harvest Moon was Harvest Moon: A New Beginning, and from that point on, all games were called Story of Seasons instead. This was due to a split between Marvelous, the people behind the game, and Natsume, the people who localized the game. Since Marvelous acquired their own in-house localization team, which is Xseed, they split ways with Natsume. However, Natsume still owned the name Harvest Moon, as the Japanese name is Bokujo Monogatari. I probably butchered that. I apologize, but it's early, and I'm not reading that again. And thus, Natsume started creating Harvest Moon games, which were absolutely horrendous, while Marvelous had to change the name of the game in the West. Also to note, A New Beginning saw a change in the Harvest Moon's / Story of Seasons direction. Partly, it was due to the creator of Harvest Moon leaving the company and creating Toy Box Inc., which made Birthdays the Beginning, Little Dragon... Excuse me. Little Dragon Cafe and Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters not long before and them experimenting with stuff. Okay. So there was a split. The original studio Natsume with the rights to Harvest Moon, they kept the name, but they've been outsourcing the projects. And you can just look up any recent Harvest Moon games, Light of Hope and One World, and they've been terrible. Absolutely terrible. And the Story of Seasons have been a pretty solid series. Now, another reason I bring this up is because I didn't even know this came out. I stumbled upon this game on Amazon while I was scrolling through. Mud water's weird. I'll talk about that in a minute. Sorry, I'm very scatterbrained at the moment, if you can't tell. So, the Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town was the game I saw on Amazon. I looked at that and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Friends of Mineral Town. But, and then I got these flashbacks. These flashbacks to this game I used to play as a kid on my Game Boy Advance. I had this game, Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, and then I had some Mario game. But I played Friends of Mineral Town so much. Oh my gosh. And I decided that, there's one person I like in town. It was Ellie, the doctor. I worked so hard to like get her heart to whatever was like purple or something, the highest level of heart. And I missed it by one event. And definitely in those older games, you could soft lock. Like if you miss an event, you either have to wait a whole year. But so I did. And when I waited that year, the event never played. The in Harvest Moon, there are these events. There are these story events where you have this little interaction with a character, and then after that, your affection with them increases. If you played Stardew Valley, a lot of Stardew Valley came from Harvest Moon. Now, I love Stardew Valley. I'm not knocking it or anything. I'm just saying that's where it originated from. So, me as a young boy, soft locking my love interest, I was like devastated. I ended up starting over. And every time I'd get so far in, I would just start over. I don't know why I really liked the beginning of the game. But they made a remake of it for Switch. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Which, that prompted me to dive deeper into figuring out what the heck Story Seasons was, because I thought it was a knockoff. But it is actually the original team that works on Harvest Moon had to change the name of it, but they still have all the rights to the Harvest Moon. Just the one company has the name Harvest Moon. So I feel like the company is trying to like catch people off guard and trick them into, it's a new Harvest Moon, and people get it and they're like, this is terrible. And there's even some stuff where the new game, Harvest Moon One World, which is terrible. It's one of those games. I can't describe how ass backwards all of the concepts are and all of the things they were trying to do. Like they took a game, they added extra steps, and for those extra steps, they added extra steps. And then the Pioneers of Olive Town, that's the new Story Seasons that came out. And it was funny that like the Harvest Moon One World isn't necessarily a finished game, and they bumped the release date to get released ahead of Story of Season, which I think they looked at the product and they're like, oh crap, like we got to get this out. We got to trick some people into purchasing it, or our investment's down the toilet. And that's the difference between the two. So if you're looking for a regular Harvest Moon experience, the traditional one, you're going to want to stick with Story of Seasons. If you want to play some moldy butt garbage, then go ahead and play just Harvest Moon, the modern ones. All right, with that out of the way, I literally woke up. I know I already recorded an episode this week, and I wasn't going to, but after this discussion, I woke up, I ran downstairs, made my mud water, and then I stormed down here, popped everything in. I'm like, hey, listen, I have something important to tell you. This is a public service announcement. That the Harvest Moon and Story Seasons are different. And it kind of bums me out because I would have still been playing these games if I would have known that there was a split. But what happened was the last Harvest Moon I played was on the 3DS and it was garbage. I'm like, well, the series is dead. I think the last good set of games were Magical Melody and Wonderful Life. And then anything before that except for Save the Homeland. Save the Homeland was a weird PS2 spin-off. You couldn't even get married. And here's the thing. Me as being a hopeless romantic, I love the getting married concept. Because it's one thing, I hope to do one day. But it's not something easily done. Because in real life, you can't just go up to a girl every single day and just give her a flower or something you find in the local mine or something you find on the ground. And she's like, oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. Because if you did that today, that'd be considered creepy. Man, just thinking about The Wonderful Life. Man, the wild memories I have with that game. So the potential spouses that you had choices over were Cecilia, Muffy, and Naomi. Now, just to see how good my Harvest Moon brain is, hold on a second. I want to be sure. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay. I really like this, like just this computer setup right next to here so I can look up this stuff. All right, let me see if I got the names right. Right. Sorry. Yep. Cecilia, Muffy, and Nami. Nami was this tomboyish redhead that was a drifter from out of town. She was always the right choice. If you didn't make that choice, you made a wrong choice. That is what me and my friend decided. Cecilia is the very standard of just the farmer girl, right? She lived in this building right outside of town. And then Nami is no, I'm sorry, not Nami. Muffy. The page is confusing because they have all the names and titles mixed up, and I'm still just waking up. So Muffy is the one who is like the gorgeous blonde. But did she have a kid? Or was that her brother? Uh, Man, I'm looking at this and I'm just having these flashbacks. That's right. All the other girls liked girly things, but Nami, she was the one who liked just random stuff. Her favorite items were clay artifacts, home cooking, or trick blue flowers. And then she hated any other flower. Like she was very, very picky. Very picky. But oh man, she was such a cool character. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, I remember their names, right? And also when we were talking about Friends of Mineral Town, I remembered the theme song for that, like the town song. It popped into my head the moment I saw it. So it's gotta be somewhat of a very impressionable experience if that's what happened. So, yes, my public service announcement has concluded. Story of Seasons is the Harvest Moon that you're looking for. It might not be perfect, but it's the Harvest Moon you're looking for. So I purchased a product recently, and it's probably someone's going to put me on a list of being like a hippie. But every time I drink coffee, what happens is like with the medicine I have to take, I get this like just black pit in my stomach or whatever you would compare that to, where a knot maybe it hurts. And then I have to eat something, but I never want to eat breakfast. And when I try to eat breakfast, what happens is I don't know, maybe it's my medicine, maybe it's just me, but I get such bad indigestion and I'm like forcing myself to do this. And I need a little bit of caffeine in the morning. I'll be honest, I need that little extra oomph in the morning because sometimes it's tough to wake up. So I saw this commercial for this stuff called mud water. And it intrigued me because pretty much it's just a very organic chai tea that comes in a powder. And I was like, you know what? It's $40 for a kit. I'll start with that, right? So I get it. I'm drinking it right now, and it just tastes like how do I put it? Like a bland chai tea, which isn't necessarily a knock on it because it's supposed to be healthier. It's supposed to be more organic, but, and I was really impressed. It came in a fancy box. The actual powder comes in a tub. You just get your coffee cup and you just put a tablespoon in, stir it. the thing is, they give you this like miniature immersion blender with 3 different heads. All of them are the same, but just in case you're washing some of the other ones. And it's all connected to this giant wand that you just pop in there. You charge it in the charging port. There's just a high quality to it. And I was surprised they gave me extra heads on it. And I'm looking at it like, wow, okay. This is pretty legitimate. Now, so far, tastes good. This is in no way a sponsor, so don't be thinking that. Just something I got, and I'm just kind of like, hey, I'm just going to drink this, give it a try. And I take sips every now and then. And it's lighter, but what I'm looking for is the caffeine. I need the caffeine in the morning. There was a time in my life where I decided that I was like, you know what? I'm going to not drink caffeine because caffeine's a drug. And I did good for 4 months. I did not drink caffeine for 4 months. And I had this kind of, it took me a little longer to wake up in the morning, but I was able to complete more things and do more things over the course of the day. And there wasn't that crash. And then I, fell back into the addiction. So, yeah, I don't know what kind of happened there, but I'm trying to remember when that was. Oh, I remember when it was. It was when I was working one of my older jobs, and we had a really rough day. And I go back to the spot that I was watching, and I went into the office, and they're like, Brandon, what are you doing? I got a coffee cup, and I pour coffee in, and like, Brandon, aren't you not drinking caffeine? I'm like, it's a really bad day, Greg. And I just took a big old swig, and I like, at that moment, it was like a relapse almost. And that was like, gosh, that was like 5 years ago almost at this point. I was just like, I need it. And Greg's like, no! You've worked so hard. And then I'm just guzzling down this coffee. So, yeah, I'm going to give this a try for a while, see if it has a caffeinated benefits. Because at the end of the day, there are refills like it's kind of scheduled out that they'll just send you a refill and charge your thing. So it's like a subscription. But I can cancel it at any time. That's not a big deal. So we'll see. We'll see. So far, it's good. It's fine. It does what it needs to do. If it can give me that coffee little oomph, then I'm happy with it. And also, coffee is like a natural laxative. So right now, I'd be halfway through this cup while recording this, and I'd have to pause and go poop. That's just the reality of it. So the next segment of the podcast is me describing how poorly I manage my money with this stack here. Wonder if you heard that. Oh, games. This stack of games that I have right here have been purchased for the Nintendo Switch, and they have not been opened. Oh, man. And I've talked about this before, how sometimes we purchase games because we're chasing that feeling that we had as a kid, that maybe this will be the game that hooks its teeth into us. And then, sometimes we don't find that enjoyment in that game, and it just isn't the same. And then we're just sitting here with this game. Also, Nintendo Switch games, after a while of being on the market, they're actually kind of difficult to find. Which kind of makes me a little nervous whenever games come out, or, I kind of want to pick them up because, like, what if I want to play them? Because I'm kind of that purist where I want to have the actual physical copy. I want to have that real deal experience, and I can't get that if I have to download it over the internet. But, that's very viable too. I'll just have the physical copy. Because at one point I did make, during my drunken tirade a few episodes ago, was that game preservation's not a thing. As soon as it's not trending, it's gone. And, someone put their heart and soul into this, and I want to appreciate that as someone with a creative mind, a creative perspective on things. So, here's my stack of games that I have purchased and never played. They are still in the plastic with the little sticker of how much it cost. Deadly Premonition Origins. Deadly Premonition is a fantastic bad game. It is terrible. It is self-aware. Here's on the back. What was this? Destructoid did a review of it, and they put it on here. It said, shockingly tasteless, fragrantly stupid, and subtly self-aware, 10 out of 10. And the thing was, it was so bizarre. It was like Twin Peaks, the video game, but made by a single Japanese guy who kind of perceived a lot of American culture. And it's a wild ride. It is. And the Deadly Premonition is like the horror aspect, but like the game, like you can run around in the open world, right? It's an open world horror game. You run around in the open world area. You have to like take care of yourself. You have to eat. You can go fishing. You can do a lot of stuff. The game is a very special game, near and dear to my heart, because I was directed to it during my formative college years. And during that time, like, this is where I found my interest in like stupid games and crazy games like this. I got the special edition box, and over on my shelf I have these pins that are with the special edition. So I got something for it, but it's really tough to play. Like, you need a group of friends to like drink together and play this stupid game. And I'm dead serious. Like, that is just what you need to do to fully enjoy this. Next game here is Catherine Full Body, which I did play and beat back on the Xbox 360, but I was like, I mean, I want this little piece of history. Also, they gave me a nice little keychain, and the box art's great. So if you don't know, Catherine Full Body was a game from the people who made the... Hold on a second. Oh, I love that sound. I also love the smell of new games when you bust it open it up, and get that smell. It's almost like a high. If we could put that in like a vape container, oh, you better believe I'd be there. So it was just called Catherine, and Catherine was from the developers of the Persona series. And what it was a puzzle game, but the outside story and narrative was about this guy who basically was afraid of commitment, and then he had to choose between Catherine with a C or Catherine with a K. And it was a big puzzle game, but there were elements of this, which I was just like very interested by. And it's very unique. And it deals with a topic that actually is very real. I mean, that's all you can say about that. It's a basic, block moving puzzle game, but it's just presented with a very high quality. All right, next game we got Final Fantasy XII. So is that 12? Yeah, that's 12 because X is 10, and then you add 2. Final Fantasy 12, The Zodiac Age. This is a remake of the game that took place in Ivalice. And if you're a big Final Fantasy nerd, this is the kind of the world that the Final Fantasy Tactics series takes place in. I remember playing this as a child. I'm going to open it up. Oh, whoa, is this an art book in here? Wait a minute, lads. Oh, you sons of bitches. This is just a little, oh my gosh, this is just a little, like, ad that they say, hey, there's all these other Final Fantasy games. So we're going to slide that back in there. So I got this one. I remember playing this on the PS2 near the end of its life when I finally got a PS2. And with that, I would always get to this giant airship. The point in the story where you would get to the giant airship. And I was never able to beat it. I could never beat it. I would run through the level and I would try and try again. And I would keep failing at the same part because I wasn't using my team to the best of their abilities. I don't think I fully understood the game and all its concepts. So I would like to go back and try that one again because I know I'm gamerly more mature than I used to be. So that's something that I could invest time into. Call of Cthulhu. Don't know anything about this. I got it in a 2-pack with the game Vampire, which I had played Vampire. I talked about it on the podcast. I think I talked about this one too, but as soon as like I played Vampire for a bit and I got halfway through, and then the game really starts to fall apart narratively. Not combat wise, but narratively. And if that happens, that's when I lose interest, because a lot of the times I'm playing a game to get a good story. Hades. Now, Hades is a big thing. It's a roguelite, takes place in Hades, and it's by Supergiant Games, which make fantastic stuff. Not even opened. I saw it because I was passing by at Walmart, and I was looking for a copy of a different game. I can't remember what game it was. And I saw it sitting there, and I was like, they make physical copies? So you best believe I bought it. And I can see in there's a bunch of stuff in there, but I just haven't opened it yet. Man, I need to. What's it include? Soundtrack and character booklet. Dude, Supergiant Game does good stuff. This game I might get to sometime in my lifetime. It is the Five Nights at Freddy's core collection. Has Five Nights at Freddy's 1 through 4 plus sister location. I've never played it. It just looked interesting. The only thing I know about it is all those game theory episodes that were done on it. This. I found this discounted somewhere, really cheap. It is the Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII twin pack. I'm curious if there's, or we're going to do a live unboxing here. Let me find something to open it with. I'm very curious to see if there's 2 game cartridges or 1. I feel like 1 because you could fit them on there, but I mean, that'd be kind of wild if there were 2. There we go, it's open. And I just have these games just sitting on my shelf, and I'm just like, I'll get to them eventually. I hope. All right. Now that's some nerdy ASMR for you there. Whenever you like open a new thing and you crinkle it, it's just 1 card. Hold on. Oh, new game smell. Still in there. Persona 5 Strikers for the Switch. I have that. Never even played it. I haven't even touched it. Still in plastic. I've heard only great things about this. But I'm like, right now it's Monster Hunter Rises time. And then Crystal Crisis. I got this for $20 on Amazon, so no one be hating me too much. It is a puzzle battler game with a lot of characters from a lot of Nicalis games. So it's like their equivalent to Smash Brothers, but then they also had Sword Strangers, which is their fighting game. I don't know. But that's another game, and I got a really cool little red kind of blocky thing here. With it's like this little puzzle thing. Now I'm like folding it and I just got distracted. It's just this little red like 2x4 set of blocks and they're all connected. And then you can just fold them into different Tetris shapes. I think that's all right. I think that is it. I feel like there's a few more. Setting over here on my shelf. But that's not too important. That don't matter. This is all just random gamer stuff I have here. Man. I think I'm slowly transitioning to the Scott the Woz, where I just collect games but I don't play them, which is bad because that's just a investment for something you put on a shelf. But there's a part of me that's just like, I kind of want that. That would look real good on my shelf. I was like, there was a big period of time where I would get figures for like Borderlands 3 and they're Borderlands 2, not 3. Make that correction. And they're all setting up on my shelf right there. I think if I had a bigger space and if I had my own space, I would show them off a lot more, get special shelves for them. And I plan on doing that. But right now, we're just all kind of just hunkered down in the basement. So, I covered everything I wanted to. It's an extra episode this week. No one complained about the length. I'm going to go put these games away. I appreciate you all. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please be safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love you guys.